Okay, yes, welcome once again. I think this time we are going with the second chapter, program analysis of paper 1. Okay, so I think let's see what is there in this chapter. Program analysis, I think you understand the meaning of analysis. Analysis means to study about that, study about something. Program analysis is a programming process. It is development of program for a specific problem. Okay, so we will just plan out the things. So analysis means planning something, or whatever your problem is there. So we'll try to plan out the things. So it is a development of program for a specific problem. So programming process consists of 5 steps. So program analysis, you can say that it consists of 5 steps: analyzing the problem, designing the solution, coding the solution, testing the solution, documenting the solution. Okay, so we have this 5 steps, and we will try to understand this one by one. First of all, analyzing what is your problem, then we will designing or planning on paper or something, then we will write a code because we are dealing in terms of computer programming languages, then testing the solution, and finally documentation, whether it will run on which type of platform, like how we have a user manual. Okay, same way. Now, I think I've not gone in that much detail, but I'll just give you some idea. Analyzing the problem. So analyzing the problem means how to do the planning about your whatever the problem you are facing in terms of programming. Okay, 4 areas involved in analysis or analyzing the problem are input, process, output, and storage. I think everyone knows that computer also does the same thing. That is, computer will do input, process, output. Okay, and we also do the storage part where you want to store your data. Okay, now the second step was program design. Okay, the easiest way is to break the project into small enough pieces so you can completely design the logic for each part of the solution. So instead of, suppose if your problem is very big, so what you can do, you can divide it into small pieces, and then you can build a solution for them, and then you can merge them. Okay, so this is a designing a program designing. Now you have to do the coding. Now coding, you can say it is the process of translating your program design into an appropriate computer programming language you are working with to solve the problem. So I think it's very important to have some program designing. Okay, computer programming, whatever your program design is there, that you have to just change it to a computer language or programming language. Okay, then testing the program, because if you don't test, okay, testing is very important. Like after coding, the next step is to test the program. If errors, you can correct them, and finally you can execute. Okay, so testing is very important. That means it should not happen that without testing, if you present or if you run your if you run your program and if you find some errors, so it doesn't look nice in front of everyone. Okay, so first of all, you should before you uh, present on some platform, okay, you should do your homework. So that means you have to do the testing of the program. Okay, whether your code is running properly, if there are any errors, should correct them, and finally you should present it or you can execute. Now documentation. So there are two different types of documentation required. Programmer documentation, like I think programmer documentation, you can say that well, what type of language, programming language you have used, whether how many loops are there, okay, whether some complex programming is there. User documentation is like how to use this or which kind of software you will be using, I think like with mobiles or washing machines, we got a user manual how to use it. So same way, suppose if you want to provide some user manual, that also can be done. Okay, so these were the 5 steps, okay, which we have studied. Okay, that is I think you can see analyzing the problem, then program design, coding the problem, testing the program, documentation. Now we are going with a very important topic of this chapter, that is algorithms. I think in small classes you might have studied about algorithm. An algorithm is a set of finite steps which, when carried out for a given set of initial condition, produces the corresponding output. Okay, so algorithm should not be very long and it should be a finite step. It should not be like infinite. Okay, and it is used for some conditions to produce some output. Okay, now we also have to see some characteristics of our algorithm. The number of steps in algorithm should not be much more. That means it should be finite. Okay, every step must be accurate and complete in itself. So it should not be, your step should not be incomplete. They should be perfect. Okay, one step should not be altered or change the structure of other step. Okay, that means every step should be unique. Then the logic should be capable of handling the worst conditions. Okay, like you are having best as well as worst conditions. Okay, whenever needed there should be a provision to accept the input data. So you should always provide that it should also accept some input. Okay, after solving the problem, the algorithm should be provided the corresponding output. I think we have seen that input output process, that is very important. An algorithm should terminate after a finite time. Okay, so it should not go on and on and on. So it should terminate also. Okay, now I have taken some of the examples. Okay, how to write an algorithm, like and I think this is a problem, algorithm for addition of two numbers. So start, variable declaration, input, process, output, and exit or stop. So start and stop are very, I think these are the steps which we'll be using, and I think whatever I used here, they are known as variables. Okay, I think in maths also we can use some variables. So same way we use variables here. Now that is you, every time you should not use only ABC. Whatever you want you can use it. So I have I want to add two numbers, that's why I have taken 3 variables, because 2 will be input and 1 will be storing the output. So you can, here you can see that input, process, output. Okay, so input is A and B. Process means what formula? I think everyone knows that if you want to add two numbers, then we can use C is equal to A plus B. And where you want to store, or where you want to show the output, you want to show the output in C, because C is the third variable where you want to store your output. Okay, then we are having algorithm to find average of two numbers. So same steps, can you see, step, start, variable declaration, input, process, output, and stop. Now I think I've changed the variables because variables cannot be fixed. I think in the previous case we have taken ABC, this time I have taken XYZ. It's not compulsory that you have to write everything in capital, you can also write in small. Now input will be A and B, XY. I think everyone knows the formula. Formula is x plus y divided by 2, because we are finding the average. Okay, and the answer will be stored in Z. I think these are very simple algorithms, but as we go on we will go with some complex algorithms also. I think now I have used one more step, algorithm to find area of circle. So start, variable declaration. Now I am using some real world examples like area, radius, pi. Now can you see we have included one more step, variable initialization. Like suppose everyone knows that pi value is fixed that is 3.142. So I can use it here. Okay, now what input? Only one input, radius. Okay, then process will always have a formula. So everyone knows pi r square is the formula. Area of a circle is pi r square. So pi into r, then output will be stored in area. So I hope you understand this algorithm is very simple. Now why we use this? Because sometimes the values are fixed. Wherever the values are fixed, that time you can use it here. If you don't want to use this step, okay, suppose if you don't want to use this step, okay, then what you can do, instead of this pi, don't use the variable pi, and directly you can substitute 3.142. That will also do, but I just want to show you that one more step is there for variable declaration whenever you are having some constant values. Okay, now here also we are having algorithm for finding potential energy. Everyone knows the formula mgh. Okay, mass into height and I think gravitational constant. Okay, that is start variable declaration. So I've used some real world examples like mass, g, height. P stands for potential energy. Variable initialization, because g is constant, that is 9.8. Input will be 2, that is mass and height. Process will have a formula, that is mass into mgh. So mgh, or mass, g and height, and output will be stored in PE variable. Okay, now I think I've also gone for what do you call it, one more algorithm where we are using iterative method, or you can say that if I want to go for repetition, then I have to use some loop like while loop, for loop and do while loop. Now first of all, let's try to understand the algorithm. So algorithm is to find sum of first 10 numbers. So those are not understood, I'll try to explain you that. You have to understand like this. Suppose 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus like this, it will go till 10. So I am expecting the answer as 55. So I hope you got this. Now you don't have to take 10 variables, okay, or 11 variables. Here we can do this with only 2 variables. Sum is one of the variable, I is also one of the variable. Now can you see the initial value? Initial value is 1. So that's why I taken I is equal to 1. Process. Okay, now process will not have direct solutions like we used to have in a previous example. Repeat while I is less than or equal to 10. Because this is our initial value, this is our final value. So I should not be greater than 10. If I becomes greater than 10, then go to step 5. So here it will come and it will store the solution. Okay, now what will happen here is sum is equal to sum plus I. So what is the value of I here? I think here one more problem is we have to fix the value of sum. Okay, so I'll tell you here in this case the value of sum should be, I think here you can use one more input as sum is equal to 0. Okay, when 0 plus 1, okay, that will be 1. Then can you see here we are having I is equal to I plus 1. So I, initial value of I is 1, 1 plus 1 is 2. Okay, so I will have a new value known as 2. Then what is written here, that repeat, what to repeat, these two steps 4a and 4b till this condition is set, till this condition becomes false. Okay, so still it is true, so we have to do this. Now this time what happens, some value is 1, so 1 plus 2 will be 3, and here 2 plus 1 is also 3. So right now, so this will be repeated 10 times. Okay, and final output will be stored here. Okay, now don't worry. I think this algorithm I'll explain you once again when we'll go with the one more session. I hope you understood all the algorithms still here, and these algorithms are very simple. You can take any examples of algorithm and you can practice this. Okay, I hope you understood all the algorithms except the last one. So I'll make it proper and I'll show it to you in the next session. So practice with some other algorithms, and I think we'll meet in the next session. Thank you.